Welcome to Sumita Roy's English Classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, and today we will talk about the daily routine of some different people. First, we begin with students, then, we begin with professionals, people who have jobs, and finally, we end with the elderly, that is, people who have reached the retirement age, who are retired or who are older than that. Before we start with the video, I will repeat what I've been telling you of late, that you need to do 5 things. These videos are for you to learn good English. So watch the entire video. There are more than 70 videos uploaded now. All of you need to watch all of them because every video helps you. So watch them, share them with all your friends so that they also benefit from all the videos. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed already. We have many subscribers, but if all of you subscribe, then you will know whenever the video is uploaded. I'm trying to make videos as often as possible. Then, of course, you need to like the video because that shows that the video is beneficial. I'm working hard to know whether the video is helping you or it is not helping you. So, like, and I will know that the video is useful. Comment certainly on all the videos you watch. Either tell me what you are learning or tell me what you want to learn, or if you have some question, you can ask. The answers will be given to you as soon as possible. Maybe not in a day because that's not possible, but as soon as possible, you will get answers to your queries. And then the rest of the comments, of course, are welcome as to what you learned or how you liked the video. These 5 things you need to do. Now let us talk about the daily routine. This also is based on the requests which I got in the comments section. You want to know simple sentences, simple conversation where you can talk about your daily routine. You can speak about what you do from morning till evening. Let us begin with the daily routine of a student. A student is asked, "What do you do the whole day?" Then the student begins like this. I'm going to be now the student and talk to you about what the student says. I wake up early because I need to do my homework. Or you can say, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. There is a video on telling time. So please find out how the time is to be told. Different ways of telling time. The student says, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. First, I brush my teeth and wash my face. Then I make my bed. Make is, to arrange the bed back in order. Because when we sleep the whole night, the bed gets disturbed. Then you have to make your bed. After this, I sit at the study table with my homework. I spend an hour doing my homework. After that, I go for my bath. Then I get ready for school or college, depends on where you study. So I get ready for school. I get ready for college. The breakfast is there on the table. So after getting ready, I go and have my breakfast. Your mother or somebody has your breakfast ready, so you go there and you have your breakfast. Suppose you're living in a hostel. Then you say, after bathing and after getting ready, I go to the dining hall of the hostel and I sit with my friends to enjoy my breakfast. Once I return to my room or to the room which you share with your brothers and sisters, your friends, whoever. If you're in a hostel, it's a different life. If you're at home, it's a different life. So you have to change the sentence accordingly. Once I come back to the room, I arrange my bag for the school or college. The school bag has to be arranged. You have to take all the books which you require that day. The college bag has to be arranged with your notebook and all other things which you require. So all these you will arrange. So you say that I arrange my bag. Then I go and catch the bus. Suppose you go in a school bus, then you have to wait and catch the bus. If you go in a transport bus, a city bus, then you have to wait at the bus stop. You can say, then I walk to the bus stop. If your bus comes near your house or your hostel, you get in. Then you take the bus. Maybe your hostel is far away from your college or where you're staying. Many young girls and boys today come from a remote area. They stay in the city in some hostels for students. These are private hostels. They might not be hostels of your own school or college. Then you have to go from there to your college or your school in a bus or in your own college bus or school bus. Once we reach college or once we reach school, we go to our class. If you're in a school, you might have an assembly. In the morning, they have some prayer, some pledge, somebody speaks, the seniors speak. So you say, first, as soon as I go to school, I attend the assembly. Some days I have to speak in the assembly, so I bring my sheet of paper from which I will speak or read. After the assembly, after the prayer, we go to our classes and we have classes from 10 to 3, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Or we have classes from 8 to 1, depends. We have classes from 12 to 6. It depends on what are the timings of your school or college. You have to say, we have classes. You can describe each class. You can say that in the first hour, we have English. Next, we have mathematics. Next, we have sciences. In this way, you can talk about all what you have. In the afternoon, we have music or we have craft. We have library class once a week. All this happens in school. In college, you might have to go from building to building. So you say that in the first hour, we go to the botany building and have a class. In the second hour, we walk across and we go to the building where there are the laboratories. We have 3 hours for lab work. In this way, you describe your routine. After finishing school or after finishing college, we come back home by bus. Or if you have a bicycle, then you might use your bicycle. You say that I ride my bicycle back home or back to the hostel. If it is a long, your college and school hours are very long, you can also talk about your lunch break. You can talk about your friends. You say, during the lunch break, I met some friends who are our juniors. We helped them with some notes and some books. All these things you can add to your routine. Now, once you come home, what do? I take rest for half an hour. Then I go out to play. You can say what you play: cricket, football, badminton, or you can say that you play chess or caroms. Or if you are really interested in English, you can play board games like Scrabble. Scrabble is making words with small coins which are given to you. You can think of what you do. You can say that I listen to the videos for some time. I learn languages for some time. If you're staying in a place which uses three, four languages, then it is good for you to learn all the languages. It is not good enough if we know only one language. That makes our life very restricted. So, students can learn many languages. That is the age to learn, the best age to learn. You say that if there is some work which I need to do at home to help my parents, I do that work. If there is something to buy from a shop nearby, I go and buy it for my mother. These things also you can add. Then you say that we have dinner at 7 or we have dinner at 9, depending on what you do. You can also describe what you eat for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, daily routine. We eat, rice for lunch, or we eat boiled egg for breakfast, whatever your preferences. We have idli for breakfast. That is also possible. Then you say that we are ready for bed by 10 o'clock. There's a saying in English, early to bed and early to rise makes Jack or whoever healthy, wealthy, and wise. So you want to be healthy, you have to sleep early and wake up early, they say, and wealthy also, and wise also. So this is a small routine for a student. Now, suppose you have already finished your studies, you've got a job. Now, how will your routine be? Either you are working where you have to do your housework and you have to also do work in the office. Suppose you are all alone, you have to do your own cooking, you have to do your own cleaning, everything. And then there is nobody to help you. Or if you live in a family where you have to look after others, you have to look after your spouse, you have to look after your children. So in professional life, you might have various different stages. Now, students are already, they are doing their prayer in school. So you might have some religious duty also at home. You do puja or you pray or, you spend some time in meditation. Then, as you become slightly older after school or college, you might want to do exercises. You might take a morning walk. You might also do yoga. School children do it all the time. Colleges they do. You might have compulsory yoga training, or you have sports hours where they play and they run around, they exercise all their muscles. So that's a possibility which in professional life you might not have. So what kind of a routine you have? You say that I get up early in the morning, then I make a plan for the whole day. Then I brush my teeth and have my bath. Then I do my prayer meditation for some time. Then I go to the kitchen and complete the work of cooking. Since I'm alone, I cook only very simple food. Or if you have a large family, then you say, since I have 5 people in the family, I have to make a lot of different varieties of food, which takes a lot of time. Then, after eating, after packing lunches, and after arranging everything at home, keeping everything clean. I told you students make bed. So now the elder person, the person who's working, also needs to keep the house clean. Then I get ready for office. I drive myself, or I ride my bike, my scooter, or my motorcycle, or I go in the company bus, or I go by an ordinary bus. Many people go by carpooling. Carpooling would imply that 3, 4 people work in the same area and they live in the same area. So they use one car per day, 5 people or 6 people. They use one car. So all six have cars. Six of them go in one car. They save fuel, they save time, they save effort, and then next day, the next person. In this way, 6 days, they have six different vehicles, and all of them go together. They become friends. They might work in the same organization. They might be staying in the same colony, but it might not be so. They might stay nearby. On the way, you can pick up some people and then you drop them back again. In this way, you can say that we travel by our carpool, we reach office, then you can describe what you do in the office. Suppose you are a receptionist, then you say that you answer calls, you attend to the guests who come, you make appointments for the officers. That description you can give in your daily routine. If you are a programmer, then you can talk about what kind of programming you do, what are the projects you are involved in, that also in your daily routine. If you are the manager, then you say, what is it that you need to do? What kind of a leadership role you have to fulfill in your day? If you have other roles in the office, suppose you have some other kind of role, you can talk about those roles also. If you are a trainer, then who do you train? What kind of training do you give? Suppose you are a member of a team which is doing a particular project, then what is your role in that team? What is your expertise which is there in the team? Describe all this because you are a professional. So your work life is the maximum time of the day. Then you say that we start office at this time and then we clock out or we sign out at this time. Usually these days you have biometric signing out. You just put your finger um, uh, or thumb and then you are signed out. While entering, also, you are signed in so that people know how much time you have spent in the office, whether you are present or not, whether you're keeping to the discipline of the office. These are all part of your daily routine. Then you say that once you come home, you're a little tired, then you take some rest. You may watch some television, or you might do your files, or you might do some pending work, office work, or you might do some work for the house, paying your electricity bill, paying other bills. If you have children, looking after the homework of the children, ensuring that the child has a good upbringing, teaching the children some values by making them do some work at home, by making them do actual things which are very helpful. So, in this way, your routine in the evening is, it's your own time, so you can choose to do. Routine at the weekend might be different. In the weekend, we might go somewhere, we might enjoy, we might do have a plan for a picnic with friends. For 2 days, we might go out of station with another couple of families. All these are possible. You can say that at dinner, all of us meet. If it's a large family, suppose there are 10 people, all of us meet and talk about our day. Daily routine, we are talking about daily routine. Now, what would you do? So, at dinner time, each person shares. The small children who might be in school share their experiences. The slightly older ones who are in college share their experiences. People who might be looking for jobs, they share their experiences. People who are working, out of these 10, I'm telling you, there are 10 people at the table of different age groups. Everybody shares whatever they have done the whole day. Here, the daily routine would mean only those hours you are outside the house. Because when you are inside the house, everybody knows what everybody else is doing. So you don't really have to speak about that much. it is very important for us to know which part of the day we can elaborate, because this is speaking. We want to speak. So if something happens to you which needs to be spoken about, then that will be added to your daily routine. You can say that this morning when I went out of the house, I saw a very funny incident on the road. So you tell everybody the funny incident, and everybody laughs and you enjoy the joke. Or you might say that this afternoon, when I was looking out of the window, I saw something terrible happen. So this is something sad. The emotion is something which is, sorrowful. Then you describe that also. Everybody shows sympathy. Everybody says, oh, that's so terrible. In this way, you can add information to the daily routine. Whatever you're doing, try to put it into sentences in correct English. Many of you are asking, how should we correct our English? That is very, very important question. Use English as much as you know, and then keep listening and reading to good English. Speaking and writing, whatever you know, listening and reading good standard English. Once you listen continuously, if you listen for 1 week to excellent English, even if you don't understand, even if you understand 50% of it, still that listening improves your ability with the language. Reading, when you have it in front of you and you read it aloud, aloud means making a sound when your words can be heard by your own ears. When you read aloud every day a few pages, then it improves your ability to spot a mistake. You don't make a mistake. I have made a video based on some of the mistakes which are made by you. It will be uploaded. If you feel I should make more videos on correction of mistakes, then you have to tell me in the comment box and I will do that. So the first youngster, the student, and the professional can add many type of, uh, incidents, information, some interesting ideas into their daily routine. Now let us move on to the third category of person who will talk about the daily routine. This is a more relaxed part of life when a person has retired after working till 60 or 65 or 70 years. A person has retired. Now the person has the means to live well, but the person doesn't have a regular routine like rushing everywhere. You don't really have to run around anymore. So it's a more relaxed routine. You can say that I get up very early because you might not get long sleep when you're elderly. I get up very early and go for a long walk for an hour. They say that you should walk for 10,000 steps every day. So if you walk for an hour, maybe you would do 10,000 steps or a little less than that. After walking for an hour, I do some free hand exercises, to keep the muscle strength, because elderly people lose their muscle strength. So you say that I do some free hand exercises. Then I return home, I brush my teeth, and I have my bath. Then I sit for meditation or puja or prayer for an hour. You have a lot of time. There is not, no dearth of time here. So unlike the other two categories where they have, 5 minutes or 2 minutes for this, the elderly person has lot of time. I pray for the whole family. I pray for the well-being of the entire world. We say in Sanskrit, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Let everybody be happy. So this elderly person who's praying, who's meditating, who's telling that, everybody should be happy. You can also do some chanting. Many people do that, half an hour of chanting. They say that if you recite these mantras in Sanskrit, Sanskrit is a very, very phonetic language. So if you recite these mantras, the stress in the mind, the worries, the problems which you have in the mind, they get sorted out. Even if you don't understand one word of it, still the cadence is the sound. This itself clarifies your psychological being, your inner self. So you very many people do that also. Then you have your breakfast, you spend some time talking to your friends in the neighborhood, or you go to the park or you go to the auditorium wherever the friends collect and you sit and talk to them for some time. There's not much work to do. So you come back in time for a simple lunch and some rest. In a warm country like ours, many people like to sleep in the afternoon. So a little sleep in the afternoon, it's called siesta. So after that, you get up. Then if you love reading, you might read for a few hours. If you love watching television, you watch for some hours. If you are addicted to YouTube, you can see some videos for a few hours, and then you can talk to the people in the family. The elderly person is always there for the rest of the family. Somebody says that, oh, I had a quarrel today. Then your mother, your grandmother, your father, your grandfather, whoever is the older person at home, they say, don't quarrel. Why do you quarrel? What is the reason you quarreled? What did you say? What did the other person say? In this way, by listening to you, by paying attention to you, they cure your problems. So having elderly people at home is wonderful. But then there might be some elderly people who do not have a family, who live in old age homes. Their daily routine is different. They have a set pattern because all the people there are elderly people who do not have anybody except each other. There are some people who are in charge of the home, and therefore they have to follow the rules of those people who are in charge. There is a different routine, and if you have experience of that, you can also talk about that. In this way, imagine that you are of different age groups. Imagine that you are different people and start speaking. That way, you practice your speaking a lot. Suppose you're not a professional, you are a stay at home person, or you are working from home, then there is no question of travel. Then you have to work till late night because there are no hours. After COVID, there are many people who are working 2, 3 days from home and possibly a day or two from the office. There are some jobs which are remote jobs. The remote job is all the days of the week, all the days of the month, you work from home only. Then that's a different routine. What I'm trying to tell you here is that each of you can think of 5 or 10 different people, their lives, and their imaginary, routine from your experience. When you see a movie tells you an entire story. They give you the daily routine also. After the movie is finished, you say, this person in the movie had this kind of a daily routine. Therefore, you can have a wonderful way of, speaking in whatever situation you are. You will have enough to speak because you know now the daily routine of all these people. You can ask them questions by saying, what do you do in the evenings? Or are your mornings very busy? What about your weekend? Do you like the weekdays or do you like the weekends? In this way, you can carry out a conversation, you can speak, you can become confident in speaking if you practice. So, practice these three, which I have given you in simple sentences, and after this, practice as many as possible. Look at the daily routine of the person who might be working in your garden. Imagine that you are the gardener. What is your daily routine? Imagine that the person who comes to give your courier or your post, what kind of a daily routine that person has. In this way, you can have 20, 30 different people having different daily routines for your speaking practice. Once you practice like this, your speaking becomes better. I'm trying to tell you all this in every video. So I would be very happy if you watch all the videos, watch them multiple times. If you have problems watching by, not understanding, if you watch them once. Then, of course, as I told you already, subscribe and like and share and comment. Don't forget to do these things. I wish you all the best and thank you.